I wanna be a star. I wanna be a star. I wanna sing.
Hello, I'm Ari Wolf, and we are introducing you to Caring for Karen. Karen Crespo is a resident of West Covina. She was living happily at the age of 28 as a nurse. She had a full life. She was really happy. Then she started to get flu-like symptoms. Ultimately, that condition worsened. She went into the hospital, and at the end of a battery of tests, she was found to have bacterial meningitis. And the toughest decision she had to make was when the doctors asked her if she wanted to live. And if she wanted to live, it meant having all 4 of her limbs amputated. She is a quadruple amputee, and her main goal in life now is to live independently. She has relied on the help and caregiving of her mother the last 3 years. This project is to turn the house behind me into a house where she can live independently, get back to her own life, and fulfill her dreams of having her own family and moving forward with her life. Karen, before we get into the long journey from the beginning of your illness to where you are today, tell me about your life before all of this happened.
I was really happy with my life. I was very independent. I've been working since I was 15 and a half, so, you know, working was a big part. I finally was able to provide for myself. You know, when I moved out, you know, paying for my place and just bought a car, so it was nice. You know, I finally got the taste of what real adulthood is, of having bills and everything, but hey, I didn't mind it. So, you know, my life was, I was happy.
Let's go through the process of when you had flu-like symptoms, you thought you were sick, you then realized that it was far more serious. You end up going to the hospital. What was your reaction when you did get the diagnosis?
Well, when I got to the ER, my mom actually took me to the ER. I couldn't feel my legs anymore. They were extremely cold. I mean, I've never had gangrene before, but I would, you know, imagine that's the feeling of, you know, I felt like, I mean, I couldn't even walk.
What was the scariest part when you thought, okay, this is going to be a long-term issue that may dramatically affect the rest of my life?
So I woke up after a 15-day coma. I realized my mom, my family, they tell me it's Christmas Eve. So you know, I don't know my diagnosis at this point. I couldn't speak because of the tube down my throat. It prevented me from doing that. So, and no one was telling me anything. So I thought I was paralyzed because I could only move my head. I still had my limbs. They were really heavy. They were bandaged up. So I didn't see how bad it was until that night. The nurse, she had to do the dressing change. She unwrapped the bandages, and I realized my legs and my arms were black as day.
So David, let's walk through the house and you can tell us what changes will be made.
Let's take a walk through here. Well, first of all the doorways are too small for Karen and her wheelchair. And when we get back over here to the bathroom, you can see that to turn from here and turn into the bathroom is completely very, very difficult. It's being done, but it's very difficult. And plus, this bathroom is a typical bathroom you would find in a suburban home. It needs to be opened up completely. We're going to take out this wall, we're taking out this wall, and we're going to blow the whole thing out this way so that the bathroom is much larger and that it will have a roll-in shower. The toilet will be accessible where she can have a special chair for moving her from her chair to the toilet. And then the sinks are going to be special also so that her chairs can come up underneath the sinks.
And that's a part of the overall concept of opening up the entire house.
Yes, it is, yes.
What was the scariest part when you thought, okay, this is going to be a long-term issue that may dramatically affect the rest of my life?
You know, it's a teaching hospital. There was a lot of doctors, residents. They all came in my room, and one of them basically presented the question, you're not going to live if, you know, we keep this. So do you want us to save your life? Do you want us to amputate your limbs? And I believe, you know, after that I found out, they asked my mom, do you think she's going to want to live? And my mom's like, of course, you know. So, you know, they come and ask me, and of course I couldn't speak, so I'm like shaking my head, yes, of course.
Immediately, so there was no hesitation at all. You said, whatever it is,
Right.
I want to live.
Exactly. I want to live. I want to get out of here. I'm thinking, okay, amputate my limbs. I'll be home in a few weeks. You know, if he would have asked me that now, and I would have realized the repercussions emotionally, physically, what I was going to go through, if he gave me a book that would have said that, I probably would have given a second thought.
Okay,
right.
let's head into one of the bedrooms,
And then back
David.
here is the master bedroom. This is Karen's bedroom now. And while it's a decent size, we are going to push it out another 5 feet so that we can give Karen a walk-in closet and push out the bathroom as well. Make it as larger, much larger than what it is, and the bedroom will be much larger. Also, we're going to open this doorway here, and this is going to open up a doorway here into the family room. So instead of coming down a hallway and to get into the bedroom, she comes straight in from the family room.
I had two mild heart attacks during that point. I was on respiratory failure. I had kidney failure, so I was on dialysis. All the organs in my body was shutting down. Basically, the meningitis, I got diagnosed with bacterial meningitis, so that's what happened to me. Literally at home, I was already dying. The doctor told me 30 more minutes at home, and I would have been, you know, a goner.
Well, it's great stuff in here, David. Now let's go to one of the most critical parts of the house, the kitchen. For Karen to be able to make her own meals, have an easy transition around the house, all of this will be opened up. Take us through what changes will happen to the kitchen with your universal design.
Well, right now this kitchen is a galley kitchen, what we call a galley kitchen, so there's just barely enough room to turn a chair around in here with no flexibility. This wall is a complete obstacle because through this wall, we're going to knock this wall out, and it's going to be open all the way into the family room. Back over here is the laundry room, completely inaccessible to her right now, so we're going to take that out also.
When you say take it out, so that wall
That
right
wall's
behind
coming
you will
out
be
also.
coming out.
So this is going to be a completely open area all the way through. The laundry is going to be incorporated into the kitchen. So here again, we want to give her her independence.
Take us through some of the emotions about what's my life going to look like now.
I mean, I was in the hospital for 5 months in the intensive care unit the whole time. But that whole time, the whole 5 months, I didn't really realize how hard it was going to be. I really just wanted to go home. You know, it was really hard, just being there, being a patient, knowing my knowledge as a nurse, thinking of all the side effects, what could happen. That was the worst part. I went through 25 surgeries that whole time. Every single time before surgery, I'm thinking, is this going to be it?
Great concept for the kitchen. Now we get into the main living area. Take us through your vision for what this room will look like.
Well, they built this on 10 years ago as an addition, and there's 3 steps that go down to this other level of the house. But now, because of these 3 steps, it's totally inaccessible to Karen. So we're going to raise the whole house, this floor level up to be up at the level of the dining room area here now, so that Karen will be able to move from one area to the other without any obstacles.
We now have the opportunity to explore one of the most important parts of Karen's story, and that's her relationship with her mother, who has been her full-time caregiver since she was diagnosed with bacterial meningitis. So first to Karen, I know that there's been a lot of emotional, physical caretaking that your mother has been responsible for. How do you put into words how much she's meant to you over these last 3 years?
Oh, I can't put it into words. I mean, I'm so grateful for everything that my mother has sacrificed for me this whole rehabilitation period. So definitely our relationship has grown for the better. Of course, sometimes we butt heads, but at the end of the day, I know she's doing everything out of love, and I really appreciate everything she's done for me. You know, as a service for her, I would love to be 100% independent one day, so she would be able to continue on with her life. Basically, right now, my mom is my hands and my feet. Technically, that's what she is. So without her, I mean, I can't even imagine what I'd be going through if she wasn't in my life.
How much did you have to learn in order to be able to provide care for her and all the things that she's needed over the past few years?
I think you just have to learn it through instinct, which, you know, like a normal mother would do. I mean, you have to learn everything for her. You have to really take care of her. Everything is kind of different now, but it's still the mother and daughter relationship where I think any mother would just learn it wholeheartedly. You don't really have to look for words like, how do I do it? It's gonna come to you naturally. One of my worries that stresses me a lot is what's going to happen to her when I'm not around anymore, because I really want to prepare her for that. You know, eventually it's going to come soon, and we're just praying that it won't come soon, but I want her to be really independent when I leave her. That's what it is.
I am here with several members of the fire department here in West Covina, and they care deeply about their community, and we want to learn how they learned about Karen's situation and why they wanted to be a part of it. So let's start with you. Captain, how did you find out about Karen, and why did you guys feel that you wanted to get involved?
Well, a friend of mine who's a firefighter also, Jonathan Smith, told me all about Karen. He said that he had come across Karen and her misfortune with what happened to her, and they were doing a fundraiser through his CrossFit gym. I'm a CrossFitter myself, and so he asked if I could help out, and I said anything I can do. One thing led to another. He called me on duty just some time back and said, "Hey, you know, Karen lives in your city. What do you think about having the truck company come down and lend a hand?" And I said, "I'll do better than that. We'll get the truck company and engine company, rescue, and the assistant chief to come down." And the assistant chief rearranged our schedule so we could be down here. And anytime we get an opportunity to help somebody in the community, that's what we do.
So Karen will not only appreciate the gift that I know that you have for her, but the physical labor. And really, on behalf of everyone associated with the project, thank you gentlemen so much for coming down here and being a part of all of this, and hopefully this will come to fruition. She'll have a home that's accessible, and it'll be a great success. And why don't you go and give Karen the gift? Stay up there.
Hi, Karen.
The captain from the West
Pleasure to
Fire
meet you.
Department.
Marco Arredondo, pleasure to meet you. It's my pleasure. And on the behalf of the West Covina Fire Department, Local 3226, we'd like to offer you this check for $500 to help you any way we can to help remodel your home and just to be here and support you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That's my pleasure. Now, I'm going to hold this for you.
Yes, please.
How's that?
Okay, I can. As a natural nurturer, I feel like it's easy for me, and it's just second nature for me to just be positive and be strong-willed, just so people can see my situation and realize, you know, their situation isn't so bad, or just to help teach other people. And that's when taking me back to the, you know, empathy. You know, before I didn't understand what empathy was until I took care of patients. So now I see the both sides of it. I see how it is to be a patient and to take care of someone. So I really feel like, you know, it's just second nature for me to be a nurturer.
It seems like, yeah, you would be the perfect spokesperson. Well, it does seem that you are very ambitious, and it's going to be a very interesting story to follow. And hopefully this series will give other people a chance to learn your story, and who knows what you're going to end up doing after that.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the opportunities are endless, and I'm just going to take it as it is, day by day, and, you know, hopefully I'll be able to make an impact.
I wanna be a star. I wanna be a star. I wanna sing, I wanna dance, I wanna do my show from Japan to France. I have the same dream, that I had as a little child. And they say don't stop, but I won't stop, because I can't stop till I reach the top. When you believe it, you will achieve it. Anything is possible. I am a star. I wanna be a star. I wanna go real far. STA